Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. I'm outside here reminiscing about the days of summer long gone when I used to work out here on Ficus Friday. Now, I'll have to work in the greenhouse. Let's head inside now and begin today's Ficus Friday, even though it's Saturday. My greenhouse here is a pretty nice place to make videos throughout the whole winter. It feels like you're outdoors and it's very spacious, and I really enjoy making videos here in the winter. I'm going to head inside now and pick out a ficus to work on for today. It is below freezing outside today, so I wrapped the tree in a plastic bag to protect it from the cold. So I'll unwrap it now and show you what tree I'm working on today. All right, let's get it unwrapped. The temperature in the greenhouse here today is 12.1 degrees Celsius or 53.7 degrees Fahrenheit, so a little warmer than yesterday. So here's the tree. It's my Ficus microcarpa Tiger Bark variety. I'll get the tree on the turntable and we'll have a good look at it, see how it's grown since the last pruning, and then decide what direction I want to go with it into the future. Here is a look at the tree. So this used to be the back, but I'm leaning more towards this kind of a view for the front. Something like that. It looks good with the roots coming out, the tree going back and then coming forward again. This was the previous front, and it's a good looking front too. It really shows off the elephant shape quite well. Yeah, I don't think this is the greatest view. Something like this, all the roots are kind of behind. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. I had a good look at all the fronts, so the original front is really good. It has nice roots gripping the rock really well. The tree kind of goes away from you and then kind of, I'll bring it back forward. That could look quite nice. Any of these views, the tree's coming towards you, but I think too much. The back view, there's not much, fancy roots in this area. At least they're not exposed. And you don't see the rock as much. It's not as nice a view. That other view I was looking at somewhere around kind of here isn't bad. But again, I don't think it shows the rock and the roots off to their best. So I think the original front view is probably the strongest view for the tree. So I think I'll continue styling it with this as the front view. Maybe in the future a stronger front view will come, but I think for now this is still the strongest front view. My intention for this tree is not to style the main trunk to look like an elephant. That's just something that happened. You can see, maybe the elephant's eye, the ear, and this is the trunk. It used to have a longer trunk, but I pruned it off. I was going to grow this as the new leader, I wanted the movement to, it comes up, it curls again, and I wanted an even tighter curl. So it tapers and the curls tighten up. I think that would look really good. It does, however, mean that I would be removing a lot of the tree off. Which, that's the important thing, is to get this trunk line going and then worry about the branches later on. Do I want to do that though? I've got to think. I've been studying the tree and I think that is what I want to do. I want to get that trunk line curving, tightening up, tapering, and then, once I've kind of got this growing as a leader, then I start thinking about branches and that. I'm sure if I cut all this off, it's going to stimulate all kinds of branches growing out of here. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting tree. The strength of this tree is the roots gripping the rock and this trunk line, which is very highly tapered, and it's getting really old looking because it is quite old. So that's what I'm thinking. Remove everything except that one tiny little leader here, and then see what happens. I've got my trunk line going. Whatever branches pop out, that'll be something I look at in the future and decide which ones I want to keep, which ones I want to remove, and how I want to go with the branches on this tree. All right, it's time to prune this back, hard prune it back, using this as my leader. So here I go. So I'm going to start taking this top branch off. Maybe, yeah, I think just the one. Here I go, like that. That's gone. The next one, there's one out the back here. So I'll come up here, prune that one off. That one is gone. The next one is this one up here, so that's coming off now. That one's gone. Let's have a look at the trunk line now. Wow, what a dramatic difference. And then there's this back branch. That's also got to come off. Wow. Here I go. Last big cut for today. Done. Okay, let's go see what's left. Here is a look at the tree. So I'm looking at it from the front view for the first time. I think that's going to be really cool. I think I like the old ancient tree coming up and the curves tighten up. I think it's going to look really good. And that to get that taper is really nice too. What will the tree look like in the future? Well, I'm not sure, but eventually I'll have to start developing branches. I think I've got the trunk line down pretty good now. Yeah, it'll be really interesting. Like, I can't really tighten the curves up anymore, so I think I'm at the stage where it'll be into the branch development. It'll be interesting to see what pops out. I mean, I took a lot off the top. It's going to, yeah, it's really going to shoot out new shoots everywhere. So that'll be exciting. The pot, I really like the pot. However, I can see the day it might have to go into a different pot someday. It doesn't have a lot of soil and root space in this pot, but so far it's growing really well. It grows with a lot of vigor. It gets lots of good shoots on it. So I'll keep it in this pot for now, but I could see someday in the future as this tree gets a little larger, starts to get more of a canopy up top, I may need a different pot, something a bit larger or deeper, just to get a little more root growth in there to support the canopy someday. So there it is. My elephant kind of tree is pruned up for today on this Ficus Friday. Kind of exciting to get that done. It's a big step. And we'll just wait and see how it grows in. Here is a look at what I cut off. So there's, a lot of branches here. And there's not much remaining on the tree. So this tree is the leftovers of an air layer. So the top of this tree was air layered off right here. And this was the stump that remained, and then I grew everything from then on over the last, maybe 8 years, I think. So it's done quite well. The hard part, was getting it from looking like a stump to something that looks more like a trunk. And that was the hard part, getting this tapered trunk formed. But it's there now. It's looking pretty cool, I think. Yeah. Ancient old tree, and it's not that big. Like, here's the height of my hand. So it's just, still a small tree. And it'll probably always stay, a fairly small tree. The pruning of this tree was fairly easy today, just cutting all the branches off except for the one. The hard part was coming up with the courage to do it, to reduce all that branches down to nothing. But I think in the future you'll see that beautiful trunk line and it'll be all worthwhile. It's time now for today's updates. The first update for today is a wonderful gift I got today. It is a LED motion sensor wall light. So I was going to put this in the greenhouse here, so when you open the doors at night, you come on inside and the lights turn on automatically. So you can see there's a solar panel up here. It runs down, charges a battery within the unit, and then there's these 3 adjustable LED lights. So I was going to put one in the greenhouse here and maybe one outside the greenhouse. So as you're walking down the pathway, it lights up the greenhouse area so you know where to go. I could also maybe put this in the plant room so when I go in at nighttime, the lights turn on. When I leave, they turn off. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. I'll have to decide exactly where it's going. I'll show you the unit. It's really nice. Here it is here. So let me turn it on. There's a button at the back here. Right here. There it is. So you can see it lit up. It just went off. If I move, it comes back on again. Now each of these panels is adjustable. So you can spread the light over, and the center one is also adjustable. It's on you can tilt it up and down. So it's, you can really light up quite a wide area with these lights. Now if I stop moving, it should turn off. For some reason it's not turning off. Am I moving too much? I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, there it goes. So maybe it stays on for a certain period of time. Let me see if I move around, if it comes back on. Hello? Hello, light? Hello? I'm moving around. I probably should read the instructions. Click it again. Okay, that came on. It's off. Let's see if I move around. It doesn't come on again. Let me check the instructions. Sometimes it's best to read the instructions. So it says after the switch is turned on the on position, the light will turn on for 3 seconds, then off again. The wall light only illuminates when the ambient light level is below 20 lux and there is human movement detected. So that is my problem, is that here in the greenhouse, it is much brighter than 20 lux. And they shouldn't turn on, because why would you need to turn a light on when it's already light in here? So that's my problem. So I'll charge them up anyway, but yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. It's just not dark enough. So maybe I'll come out here when it's dark and give them a good test. It is now dark, so I'm going to do my motion sensor test. So I'm heading out to the greenhouse here. Should be interesting to see if it detects me or not. I don't even know if I have them pointing towards the door of the greenhouse, but here I go. I'm alongside the greenhouse now, so I'm going to open the door. Oh, the lights did come on. Wow, is that ever cool? So there they are right here. Yeah, they work better than I expected. I don't even know where the sensor is. Oh, it's up here. So I guess they're quite good, because I wasn't even in front of the lights and they still came on. Wow, so that works well. I'm going to leave now and we'll see if they turn off. So bye-bye LED lights. So I don't know if they'll run for a particular length of time or not. Wow, does that ever look beautiful lit up at night? That's amazing. Nothing like a greenhouse lit up. Oh, one went off, the other one went off. Is that ever cool? Thanks, Ross. That's awesome. Let's try it again. Here I come. I'm coming towards the door. Opening the door. And the light's on. One light, two light. Wow. Is that ever awesome? I am going to mount them up in the greenhouse here. Wow, that is just so cool. I love that. So I think, if I mount them up high, it'll light up the whole greenhouse area here quite nicely. That would be so cool. So I could put one up on this frame up here. That would be good. And the other one on the frame up here, and have them kind of pointing down, lighting up the whole greenhouse area here. Yeah, that'd be excellent. All right, well, you can check the temperature in here. It is quite cool. It's, let me see here, 6 degrees Celsius or 43.3 degrees Fahrenheit. 66% relative humidity. Yeah, so that is cool. We'll watch them turn off once more. I'm leaving the greenhouse. Doors are closed. Good night, greenhouse. I want to thank Ross for sending me these units. They're really awesome. Thanks, Ross. I won't be stumbling around here in the dark if I forget my flashlight, which is quite often. Let's go to our next update now. I brought my mixed forest in today. This is larches in the foreground and black spruce in the background, and then I have some dead spruce trees in the middle here. I noticed there was a new addition to the forest. In here, there's a thuja seedling growing, which must have just germinated all by itself right in there. So I guess it has 3 different species of trees in this forest now, which is pretty cool. This forest, I'm really looking forward to developing this into the future, getting those tight conical shapes to these trees and maintaining that. I'll let the trees grow larger, but I'm going to try and keep them as tight as I can, giving it that northern, bog forest look. I think it's going to be really an exciting forest in the future. So I've got a lot of pruning. You can see the leader on this larch here grew really tall. This one, you can see there's some big leaders at the top that need pruning. This one has kind of got an umbrella canopy on it rather than that conical form. Some of them, this was the new addition to the forest. I had an empty space there and an extra larch, so I put it in there. It seems to have survived and is growing well. These ones out front look a lot nicer. They got more branches and a finer structure, so I'll continue to work on those. These spruce, they came a long way over the years. They're, getting into that tight conical form. So I'm just really looking forward to developing this forest. I think it's going to be really cool. At the last KW Bonsai Society's in-person meeting, Connor, he brought a whole bunch of rabbit foot fern cuttings, and there's like a section of root with a little fern sticking up. So I planted it in this blue pot, and so far it's doing really well. It's nice and green still. I'm keeping it in the greenhouse here. They're a really cool plant. They get kind of these roots that grow out and around, and they're all fuzzy like a rabbit's foot. They're pretty cool fern. So yeah, it could make a really nice accent plant in the future. Bit of a curiosity, I guess, but it's doing really well, and I'm thanks, Connor, for bringing those cuttings in. I think that's fantastic. I've moved my mixed forest down on the floor here for the winter. It should stay nice and cool there, be protected from the ultra cold outside, and as it gets closer to spring, I'll give it a pruning. My last update for today is a native oak, a Chinquapin oak. So here it is. It grew really well over the summer. When I repotted this, I cut the taproot in half. So hopefully I've got some finer roots growing in here, and I can kind of further reduce it to eventually get a radial root base on it. So today I'm going to give this tree a pruning. You can see the bare skeleton here. It's growing quite tall. I've got to decide a style and, get it underway. My Chinquapin oak doesn't have really small leaves like an English oak. They're fairly large. They can be reduced probably a half or a quarter the size you would see in nature, but they're still fairly large leaves. So I want to grow this bonsai to be like a medium to a large size tree. So I'm thinking I've got a little bit of movement in the lower trunk here. I think as it grows, that'll kind of sort itself out. You won't see it anymore. It'll smooth out. So I probably, don't want my lowest branches until at least this level. So I'm thinking what I should do is probably remove all these lower branches and start developing some upright branches at about this level. Generally, you know, your lowest branch starts about a third the total height of the tree. So if this was my 1/3, 2/3 would bring it up to here, and another third would make it, you know, a medium to large size bonsai. So I think that's what I need to do, is prune off all these lower branches and start developing this upper structure to the oak. All right, here I go with the pruning. So all these lower branches can come off. I don't want branches down there that low. I want my trunk to be, you know, fairly flawless without any major scars on it. So all those lower branches are removed. There's just a few suckers I'll rub away here, some buds. I don't want anything developing on the trunk line. So that comes up to this major branch here. I think this major branch is too low. I think I want to start my branching here at this tier. So I'm going to take this one off also. Like that. There's a little one here that can come off too. A few buds I can rub off again on the trunk. Just rub down, feel any buds, take them off. So now, you know, there's no branches up to this point. So now here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 branches coming from this kind of whorl. I've got to decide which of these branches I want to keep. I don't want bar branches, so I've got, you know, one here, one here. So I think I'm going to keep my strongest branch, which is this one. So I'll remove the one on the other side. That leaves me with 3 in this area now. This one also forms a bar branch here, so it comes off. And then I've got another one here. I don't want it. I want it coming up, dividing from 1 into 2. So that one's going to come off also. So just keeping my division from 1 into 2. And they're staggered. I've got a stub here I can remove. So I'll prune that off. Like that. And then I think I want to reduce the height a bit. You know, even though I want to grow it larger, I don't want straight stick-like structure to the tree. So I'm going to prune it. There is a bud here, and I think that's a suitable one, so I'll prune just above that, leaving a bit of room for dieback to there. And then I'll want to take the tip off of this branch. There's an outward facing bud here, so I'll take it back to there. So there, my Chinquapin oak is all ready to grow for next spring. And I should get, you know, a lot of growth up top here. It should be good, strong growth because it's in a root maker pot. I probably won't disturb the roots this year. I'll let them grow for 1 more year, and then the next year I'll do another root pruning, trying to reduce the taproot, encourage those radial roots to develop. And yeah, it'll be on its way by then to slowly become a bonsai. Even though it's Saturday today, this is my Ficus Friday video. I'm a day late. I don't know where the time goes sometimes. Tomorrow I have some guests coming over to the Bonsai Zone. I've got Zen and I think Blue Jay Bonsai and maybe Vince. So that'll be really exciting to see them. We'll probably go out for a Christmas lunch. That'll be fun. So that is all for today for this Ficus Friday. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me here in the Bonsai Zone.